quite a serious topic today.
Trump is talking about it. The UK is terrified.
It was also a wake-up call and therefore quite useful. It's shocking that the West has been asleep at the wheel on this issue for so long. The West has forgotten about border control. We have had people that shouldn't be in this country attacking British people. Someone like Nigel Farage will move the dial if he becomes Prime Minister. Andy Burnham, he's talking about legal, safe routes. Well, that is shorthand for mass immigration, in you come. Andy Burnham will not stop the boats.
Hello and welcome to today's Daily Expresso. I'm JJ and today I'm joined by a very special guest. You get him twice this week. It is the star of the Dolan show. It's Marky Mark.
Great to see you, JJ.
You too, babes. I only saw you yesterday, but you're looking well.
Well, look, it's good to be back and quite a serious topic today.
Extremely. So I'm sure you've all seen the images. 60,000 men bursting into Ceuta, which is Spanish territory, but it's in North Africa.
Yeah.
The Moroccans don't recognize it as Spanish territory. Now, it's mental. When I was watching the footage, I was looking out trying to spot women and children. I didn't see a single one. I did not see a single one. The local shopkeepers had to shut their shops because they were scared of getting looted. The locals who live there, I think there's like maybe 60,000 people who live in Ceuta.
Correct.
There's almost more of these asylum seekers than there are locals, and the locals are now scared to leave their homes. People are saying, well, 40,000 of those men have now returned back to Morocco. That ain't good enough, and it's having ripple effects. Trump is talking about it. The UK is terrified. France, Italy, President Meloni, she's saying we should stop Spain from being part of the Schengen area.
Yeah.
Mark, why do you think these men tried to break through in the first place? And my follow-up question would be, what effect is this going to have on the UK?
Well, although it was a tragedy for the islanders of Ceuta, it was also a wake-up call and therefore quite useful. Because notwithstanding the geopolitical background to this and a bitter Cold War between Spain and Morocco, it was a red flag, because these scenes, yes, quite unprecedented to have 50 or 60,000 people land on a country in 24 hours. I'll grant you that's not normal. But the UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain have a mini Ceuta every day. And it was just last Wednesday in the UK that 750 people entered the United Kingdom illegally. That's in one day. So although the scale was different and although the background may have had a geopolitical element to it, it told the same story, which is the West has forgotten about border control. It has become politically incorrect. It's become far right to think that you should have strong borders. Well, it wasn't controversial in the 1990s when Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton boasted about deporting millions of people. And the Overton window has shifted so much that there is this pathological idea that somehow open borders are virtuous. Now, what we won't do on this show is demonize any of the people involved, because I suspect if we were in their position, we would take our chances with the Spanish border, the UK border, the French border, because it is in human nature to seek a better life. But it's shocking that the West has been asleep at the wheel on this issue for so long, that it should be negotiable that when you enter a country illegally, you're allowed to stay. Now, when I mentioned the 750 people that came to the UK in one day, and that was last Wednesday, 70,000 since Labour won the last election just 2 years ago. 70,000 people.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the majority of those folk will stay. And the other issue we have, it's bad news for genuine refugees and asylum seekers, because these folks, predominantly men, are jumping the queue. Secondly, we don't know who they are. And in the United Kingdom, they arrive and they are accommodated either in a hotel or what's arguably worse, a home of multiple occupancy. What that means is you're going to have a migrant house in your street. How does that affect your life? You've got family and kids and all that. And then there is the cost. You're looking at 3 to 4 million. Sorry, let's correct that. 3 to 4 billion pounds a year for the cost of illegal immigration in the UK. And most of these people will stay. Some of them, and of course it's not going to be all, some will have a criminal record. We have no way of finding out or separating the pioneers from the criminals. The engineers from the sex attackers. Yes, I went there. I said that.
Yeah.
Because we have had people that shouldn't be in this country attacking British people
When people
and harming them.
when people push back on that, I always say to them, the reason men are not allowed in women's toilets is because some men are sex pests. And that doesn't mean that I'm one or you're one.
Correct.
But I understand that because some men are, I shouldn't be able to use a women's toilet either. Now, if we've got a load of people coming in, I mean, we could have 100,000 people coming in from Iceland tomorrow, and they say, well, they're all from Iceland. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't have a criminal record or anything.
Yeah.
But
It's like, no, sorry.
they're all called Sven.
You've got to have the checks. You've got to know who's coming in, because there's no way of just take the word for it. Everyone's fine. No, statistically, some of them are not going to be okay. Some of them are going to be criminals. Statistically speaking, that's how it works. It's crazy that our borders, and it's the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did a ruling that if you come across to Spain,
you swim to the
country, we will not return you. Like, that's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
It's completely bonkers. And what that demonstrates, and I'm glad you mentioned the Supreme Court in Spain, because it demonstrates that the establishment and the people are in very different places when it comes to immigration, both legal and illegal.
Yeah.
And we've seen the same in the United Kingdom, where you've got the political, media, and legal establishment who are quite comfortable with open borders. Why? Because they live in nice houses in well-appointed areas.
Yeah.
And they're not in the places where immigrants into the country, illegal immigrants, are dumped, which is poor towns in the regions and across the north, which is why many of those ex-Labour voters are shifting right, because they're being hurt by these woke left-wing policies. Now, I've got lots of friends on the progressive left. We have heated debates about things. They'll be right sometimes, I'll be right sometimes. But I cannot get them to process the idea that if somebody that shouldn't be here commits a crime and harms a British person, that is actually worse than a British person doing it. That it's a judge should look at that as what they call an aggravating factor.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's terrible if anyone is harmed by anyone, but it is actually provably worse if that happened because of the failure of the authorities in regard to someone that should not have been here. And I'm pro-immigration. I'm the son of immigrants myself. I know it's different from you. Your family have been here for 55 generations, but I'm new. Now, my parents are Irish, right?
Yeah.
Your Nigerian background?
Yeah, Nigerian dad, Zimbabwean mother.
Okay.
My dad's family had to save for about 8 years in order to send him here with all the correct documentation, the correct sponsorship, and to have enough money in the bank account to prove that he can sustain himself. And he came over as a student and then stayed. My mother was a trained nurse and then became a midwife and then had to do training again once getting here. They all did the paperwork. They both did the legal way. Neither of my parents said, no, actually, we want a better life, so we're just going to jump the border. That's it. We're just going to go over. Like, no.
It was not in their vocabulary, not in their mentality. And you and I hope, are an example of old-fashioned immigration. Immigration 1.0, not 2.0.
Yeah.
And what immigration 1.0 was to be from overseas and not to give up your heritage one bit, but to become British.
Yeah.
And therefore, my family remained Roman Catholic, go to church every Sunday, drink many pints of Guinness, speak Gaelic when they've had a couple of Jameson whiskies. Irish, no problem. But in the United Kingdom, participating in the British project.
Yeah.
Immigration 2.0, which includes both illegal immigration and actually mass uncontrolled legal immigration, including the Boris wave, is problematic because the contract with those coming to the country changed. And the deal was no longer that you will integrate because we had this very socialist, radical idea of multiculturalism, which sounds great. And this is what the left do. Anti-racism, multiculturalism, be kind. All of that leftist language sounds really groovy, doesn't it? Who would disagree with multiculturalism? But there's a distinction. Multi-ethnic, no problem. You and I are both multi-ethnic.
Yeah.
But it's a multi-ethnic society based around British values, British tradition, the English language, the law, and by the way, being economically productive. So what we've got now with immigration 2.0 is No expectation of integration. And what you then have is people living in parallel communities, participating in a different culture, sometimes not compatible with our own. I'll give you the weekly so-called peace marches as an example of the failure of multiculturalism. Proof of that, you've got these marches happen every weekend, very violent in tone from the river to the sea. It globalized the Intifada, which means bombs in shopping centres, and no arrests effectively, and Jewish people afraid to leave their houses.
Yeah.
That is a failure of multiculturalism, because what the progressive left have said to ethnic communities in recent years with the multicultural experiment is you don't have to integrate. In fact, you should not integrate, because Britain is a wicked imperial empire, blood-soaked disgrace. So you've got a political class that are ashamed of what Britishness is, and therefore they've said to people, "Don't integrate. We're awful. Why would you want to be British? That's the worst thing you want to be." And that's why you have foreign flags in town halls and city centres. It's the United Kingdom. I mean, you go to America, it's the Stars and Stripes. You go to Nigeria, it's the Nigerian flag. So that's my view of it. And
there's also flags in Nigeria of my face. I'm a pretty big deal over there. I don't want to boast. Don't look into it, but
I won't check.
Don't check. But I'm a pretty big deal in Nigeria.
Of course you are. You are a proud forefather of a great culture. But so I think it's a real worry, and the
Nigel
establishment,
Farage,
establishment miles away from where the public are, including left-wing voters who also want to stop the boats.
Everything is digital now, isn't it? Your money, your photos, even your loyalty card at the coffee shop. So there's something quietly brilliant about owning one thing that isn't on a screen: real gold bullion. The weight of it, the shine, it's just a lovely thing to hold. The Pure Gold Company, which was voted the UK's best gold broker, makes owning physical gold really simple. Tax-free gold coins from the Royal Mint with friendly one-to-one guidance from your first question to final delivery. There's no jargon, no pressure, no call centre queues. It's insured to your door or stored in a secure professional vault. So visit the Pure Gold Company today and tell them JJ sent you. Well, Nigel Farage thinks he has a plan. He has said if Reform get into government, he'll put the Navy in the sea and they'll stop the boats. They'll turn them around and take them back to France. What are your thoughts?
Well, I can sum up Farage, who we can both agree is not perfect. And I think the 5 million thing is a big headache. Not going away. And I spent half a day with him. He's a really nice man, and he's very loved by the public, certainly in Clacton-on-Sea. And he's intelligent and knowledgeable. He's also got a pair of balls on him. And he's been very early to a lot of debates, including net zero and, most importantly, the boats. And I think that someone like Nigel Farage will move the dial if he becomes Prime Minister. And this is not me endorsing him, because I don't care who does it. If someone can just establish border control, a country that lives within its means, where it pays to work rather than stay at home. Go for a clean environment and renewables, but scrap net zero, and everyone united around British culture and values. Right? That's all I'm asking for. I don't care who does it. I don't care if Andy Burnham does it, Kemi, Nigel, Rupert. But what you've got with Nige in 2 words, which I'm not sure the others have, is political will. And I think that's what it's going to take if you're going to have border control, if you're going to have a country that lives within its means, if you're going to replace net zero with a sensible environment policy, if you're going to cut the size of the state, and if you're going to enforce Britishness again, you're going to need political will. A good example of that would be someone that's also not perfect, and it's Donald Trump. And notwithstanding his adventure in the Middle East, which doesn't seem to be playing out that well at the moment.
It's a big mistake he made there, I think.
And then notwithstanding the tariff war that he started may well be reversed by the Supreme Court. Lots of challenges facing him, lots of headwinds. But his great legacy will be the southern border, which he closed unilaterally within days. And if I was American and Trump gets to the end of his term, I'd be like, all right, Iran war, a little bit of a mess. Tariffs thing's been reversed. Still got inflation. But do you know something? You closed the southern border. You established America as a country of legal integrity again. I don't know about you. I'd take that.
I would absolutely take it, because my biggest worry with people crossing the channel is the amount of deaths. So with Morocco to Ceuta, I think it was 67 people dead.
Terrible.
And that's like, for me, that's what needs to, that should be at the forefront. How are we going to stop people from risking their lives and dying in the channel? We need to have something that makes people think, actually, it's not worth risking my life to get over there.
And you've got Andy Burnham, who's the PR PM, right? Everything's a headline. And he's talking about legal, safe routes.
Yeah.
Well, that is shorthand for mass immigration, in you come. You know, I mean, it's a bit like you can clear the asylum backlog by just saying yes to everyone.
Good. My plan has always been, you open a centre in France and you open one in, I don't know, Tunisia, for example, and you get processed there.
Can we not have Tunisia because I'm going on holiday there in the spring?
Fine, we'll pick Algeria.
All inclusive. I've already booked the sunbed, so not Tunisia.
So you got a processing centre in France and one in Algeria. Because you're not going to Algeria.
No.
Not Algeria.
I'm going to Algeria after. I'm going on a tour.
Cuba? That's Cuba.
I'm seeing Castro's nephew.
We're going to have one in France.
You're running out of
and one
countries.
in North Korea, right? And if you go to that processing centre...
I'm going to Pyongyang next. I'm going skiing there in December.
They love you in North Korea.
Right, I'm going to stop interrupting you. But yeah, so you have a centre. So you basically have France, and then you have a
somewhere in North
neutral
Africa.
country.
Yeah, and that's the only place.
Second safe country.
But those are the only two places you can get processed in the world if you want to come to Britain.
Clever.
And if they say no, then that's it. You can't come, and you can keep applying as much as you want, and people can keep saying no as much as they want. And if you then try and enter via a small boat, you're returned. You are returned instantly to one of those processing centres, and you can make your way back to wherever you're from on that side, or if you're in France, you make your way back from that French processing centre. But that is it. You're processed. They say no. You're on your way then. And if you come on a small boat, well, then you go back to the processing centre, and you're not coming in. Automatic removal. That's what I would do.
It's a great idea. And Trump did it in America, and actually Australia did it in 2014 with Operation Sovereign Borders.
And it worked in Australia.
Massive.
But none of our MPs have the balls to do what Australia did, because it's going to be, they think it would be unpopular or morally repugnant. But as you said earlier, the people in charge are out of touch with the people on the ground.
Well, that's right. And Andy Burnham, he made a big show. Everything's a TikTok now, right? He's the PR PM. Everything's a headline. He goes down to Dover, and he's like, "I've come here on a Sunday, because it's so important." Oh, thanks for giving up your day off, having been Prime Minister for 11 minutes. Well done for sacrificing your family trip to the Toby Carvery. Which, by the way, are viewers. We've got so many international viewers, and many British viewers, but we should let our audience know overseas about the Toby Carvery.
It's difficult because they don't even have Sunday roasts in America. It's not even a thing.
It's as close as you'll get to heaven on earth is a flagship branch of Toby Carvery. What it is, it's a pub and restaurant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Normally on a motorway, which I think is nice. It's always a good sign. And what they have is they've got all these different joints of meat.
Yeah, you get chicken,
turkey,
beef, lamb, and sometimes a vegetarian option, but I wouldn't have that. It's normally dry.
Well, it makes you left-wing if you eat vegetables, so I try to avoid the broccoli. And you have roast potatoes, you've got gravy, Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah.
And what happens is you're in a queue, and it's like a buffet, and they cut the meat for you.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible thing. Then you get a pint, and it's all good. And so he's given up the Toby Carvery to go down. I've given up my Sunday, it's so important.
Right, a quick pause in the podcast to tell you about our sponsor, Incogni. You had those phone calls from numbers you don't recognise, or you go in your inbox and there's emails for stuff you did not sign up for. Well, that's because someone somewhere is selling your private information. That's where today's sponsor comes in, Incogni. They will contact these people who have been taking your information, and they'll say, "Oi, stop, delete it." Go to the website, incogni.com, you type in the details, 2 minutes later, Incogni are sorting it out for you automatically. And because I love you, I've got you a discount. It ain't 10%, it ain't 20, 60% off. 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Just go to incogni.com/Daily Expresso or click the link in the episode description box below.
Talking about legal, safe routes. even if this guy wanted to do the right thing, and he comes from having been the Greater Manchester mayor, right?
Yeah.
Now, in the Northwest, they are they're against illegal immigration, okay? Left and right. It's called the Red Wall.
Yeah.
They voted for Boris in 2019 because they want to get Brexit done because of the boats and because of controlling our borders and sovereignty. So he gets it, right? He knows. And he said, when I was in Makerfield, people were telling me nonstop, you've got to sort out the boats. But he won't do it because his party have got this pathology in their head that open borders are kind. And they've got this pathological sympathy for people overseas. Now, it was Emmanuel Macron who said something very brave. And if Farage had said it, right, he'd have been cancelled. Macron said a couple of years ago, we cannot accept the misery of the world. Now, that's it's a brutal line. I'm not sure I'd even use that language.
Yeah.
But you've got a very centre ground politician that said the true bit out loud. It's true. There's a billion people that could benefit from living in the United Kingdom, right? But the party is the problem. So Andy Burnham will not stop the boats. And he might even like to, but his party won't let him. And I tried to explain to my friends on the left that illegal immigration is actually really bad news for poor British people. Now, if you're on the left, is that not your group? Is that not your gang? Poor people. Do you remember the poor?
Yeah.
It's exactly like the feminists forgot women.
Yeah.
With the trans madness.
Yeah.
The environmentalists forgot the environment. It's all like pro-Gaza for some reason. And I don't understand why that's green. And the left forgot the poor. When was the last time you heard a left-wing politician talking about poor people? It's the woke stuff. It's the culture wars. It's Palestine. And it's just sort of crazy gender woo. So what I would say is I try to convey to my left-wing friends, illegal immigration is really bad for poor people. And the reason why is that these folks tend to stay 80, 90%. They get dumped in poor towns. And the reason why is because the state pays for accommodation, so they can't go to Mayfair.
Yeah.
So you've got a catch-22 where poor areas have an arrival of brand new poor people that have been imported who are going to be a drain on the state's resources for the rest of their lives in most cases. Some of them will start businesses. Some of them will do this and that. The majority are likely to be low-skilled folk. And that's really bad news for poor people because what it does is it creates competition for low-paid jobs.
Yeah.
And it also creates competition for state resources because a lot of those lads that come in, and it's 70,000 since Labour won the election, they're going to need accommodation, GP appointments, dentists. They're going to need subsidised housing. And what percentage of those folks is going to be like brain surgeons and engineers? Because this is what the progressive left say. We need immigration. It's like, yes, we do, but we need elite level immigration like your parents and mine.
Yeah. Well, Marcus, I think that's a perfect place to end the episode. You summed it up. You solved the problem. I've solved the problem and you've summed it up.
Full disclosure. I don't have a British passport. I'm not legally here. But luckily, people tend not to watch towards the end. So I arrived on a bus, under a bus. Can we make it stop?
Marcus, thank you very much, mate.
Delirious. Loved it today.
Super.
See you soon, man.
I'm not here with you next week. I'll be sending myself on holiday.
Have a lovely break. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you very much. I'm going to Tunisia.
Via Pyongyang.
Well, thank you for watching. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if I've got you still here, hit the hype button. It helps us. Thanks, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.